Hey guys, welcome back. Behavior Strategies for Class. This is the podcast that is turning student behavior challenges into classroom success stories by helping teachers respond to challenging behavior with calm, clarity, and confidence so that every student can thrive. And today we're going to talk about creating a classroom community that comes alive. We're diving in. How are you going to build that classroom community from day one that truly comes alive? One where your students are going to feel connected, seen, excited to learn. Because the research shows that belonging isn't just nice to have, quote unquote. It's the engine behind regulation, motivation, and engagement. So it's super important. And in this episode, you're going to get quick, high energy strategies to spark connection, again, from day one, and create a classroom culture students can't wait to be a part of. So let's get started. Welcome to Behavior Strategies for Class, the show where your student behavior challenges become your classroom success stories. I'm Diane Bachman, a trauma-informed educator, a certified trauma-informed coach with over 15 years of experience working in special education. And I help teachers respond to behavior with calm, clarity, and confidence while building real connection. Each week, we're going to break down those tough moments with practical trauma-informed strategies you can use right away. You'll hear stories that remind you you're not alone. And if you're ready for a calmer classroom, stronger relationships, and behavior support that actually works, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button, share this episode, this podcast with other educators that you know so we can continue to learn and grow together. And if you have not yet left a review, I would love to hear from you and how these strategies are helping you in your classroom, especially as you're setting up for the new year. So we're going to talk about first, what does the research show about the importance of belonging in your classroom? Does it really make a difference? Is it really a big deal? Is this really something that you should focus on or at least spend some time on? And so the first thing that research is showing is that belonging truly is one of the strongest predictors of student success. And this is from Harvard Graduate School of Education, where it says belonging is a core developmental need that directly shapes motivation and resilience. Because when you feel like you belong somewhere, you feel safe. You feel safe enough to raise your hand when normally you wouldn't, to go a little bit extra and finish out an assignment or help a peer. It truly makes a difference because when you feel safe, you feel courageous enough to go the next step, to take that risk. And this is what they're saying. It's shaping that motivation, that resilience. So you're going to get higher academic success. You're going to get that stronger engagement. And you will have some fewer behavior challenges. You're going to have better attendance. And this is going to help lower stress and anxiety. Because when kids feel safe, they don't have to feel stressed out and anxious about what's happening next. Who are you? How are you going to interact with them? What can they expect from you? All these different things that they're thinking of to try and be safe in your classroom. When you create a community sense of belonging with your students, it takes some of that anxiousness and stress away so they can truly focus in on learning. So the second thing that research shows, according to the American Psychological Association, the American Psychological Association, they are saying that the research shows there's fewer disruptive behaviors and that, again, stronger emotional regulation. Because just like you, when you feel safe in an environment, you're going to be willing to try something new or to try something a little bit out of your comfort zone because you know you have a safe place to land, per se, right? You know that if you fail, no one is going to be like losing their mind, calling you out like a crazy person. They're going to be like, hey, you tried and that was a great effort. Let's try again later or whatever, you want to do. They support you. When you have belonging, you are supported. And so belonging acts as a protective factor, which calms that stress response and increases the regulation. So again, that's coming back to the whole safety thing. Your students are not constantly trying to figure out, okay, well, what is your response going to be on this one? Or, what do I have to do over here? Well, I'm not really sure what I have to do here. And, the constant guessing causes them that stress and anxiety. And granted, the beginning of the school year, some of your kids are just going to feel that anyway, right? Because everything's new. You're new, they're new. Maybe you have students from a different school, so now the whole school is new. All these things. And so building that community, that sense of belonging is super important. So number 3, a research shows that relationships with teachers matter more than any single strategy. And this again is according to the American Psychology. Why do I keep messing that up? Sorry. The American Psychology Association, because it is the most powerful lever to help reduce that challenging behavior, again, that increases the engagement and that improves academic outcomes. Again, this is creating safety. Because when they have the relationship with you, they know what to expect. Now, if you've listened to this podcast for any time, you know that I have a trauma-informed background. I've worked with students who have been through traumatic experiences, who are sometimes still going through it and at school. And so their trauma response is very stressful. They're always looking out, right? They're ready for fight, flight, or freeze. I apologize. I'm stumbling over my words tonight as I am recording this, 10:30 at night. But anyways, so some of your students are not used to having an adult where they know what to expect. Some of your students have pretty volatile adults in their lives where when they get at home, they're walking on eggshells. They're not sure what kind of mom or dad or guardian they're going to get that night. And so to be able to come to school and they know, like, hey, Sally, it's so great to see you. This is what we're working on today. Don't forget to turn in your homework and, all the things. And then they know how the day's going to go and they know how you're going to respond. So that again is that safety environment, sense of belonging that you create when you take the time to get to know your students. And that is building community. So number 4, belonging, according to research, is built through daily interactions. So according to the Harvard Center on the Developing Child, emphasizes repeated small relational moments shape brain development and, again, emotional safety. So I think the good thing here is to remind you that this doesn't have to be a big, huge, oh, great, I have to sit down with every student like for half an hour every day and take time to get to know them. No. This is exactly what this research is saying. It's through the daily interactions. It's through those small moments. Again, how you greet them in the morning, how you help and encourage them throughout the day, how you joke with them, how you ask how they're doing. Just those little bits. You give them high fives throughout the day, fist pumps, whatever it is. You are interacting, you are forming that relationship, you are creating community and a sense of belonging every day by doing these little things. The next research shown about belonging says that classroom community increases, again, academic engagement, so that your students will participate more, they're going to take more risks, and they're going to persevere. Because again, they feel safe, they feel supported, they feel like they belong, even though it may take Susie, way longer to understand that math concept, where Sally has already finished it and on to the next thing. But Sally doesn't turn to Susie and is like, oh my gosh, what is your deal? Like, what is your problem? She turns and supports and say, hey, can I help you with this? Or you as the teacher are coming over and saying, where do you have trouble understanding? These are the things that you take time to create that classroom community, because sometimes that classroom community is not only you teaching, it's empowering your students to reach out to the other students so that they see they can make a difference as well. So research also shows how critical community and student belonging is for diverse students. So it reduces that stereotype and increases confidence, allowing all your students to share their lives, their culture, their values, where they come from and what they celebrate, and to know that some students learn differently at a different pace or have to have some other tools to help them learn, and knowing that those students can feel just as welcome as all of your students. And I see this every day. It's so great to see because I've worked in special education almost 2 decades, which is pretty wild. But I have seen where some of our even nonverbal kiddos come into a gen ed classroom, and a lot of those students are coming up to our student and is just like, hey, come on in, like we're doing this or we're doing this, or let me help you here. And like they're just so great and welcoming to these students. And that is critical for these kids as well, to feel that welcome and that sense of belonging. So to kind of sum up the research on belonging in the classroom, is that belonging is a neurological, emotional, academic accelerator. So you want your students to succeed and excel in their academics as well as emotionally and socially. You need to create that community of belonging in your classroom. So now I'm going to talk about some activities that you can do in your classroom that will help create a sense of belonging and community in your room. And these are pretty simple. A lot of these things you can get on Amazon, Pinterest. Some of them you don't even need to buy anything. So one of the fun things I really enjoy doing is throwing around the beach ball. So I'm sure some of you know Amazon has this beach ball, and all over the beach ball, there's all different kinds of questions on there. And what I've seen classrooms do is, either the beginning of the day, the end of the day, whenever it works for you, having your kids sit in a circle and toss the ball back and forth to each other. And they have to answer one of those questions that comes up. And some of those are super easy, like what's your favorite color? What is your favorite thing to do when you get home or during the summer? Um, a favorite book you like to read. Those different things on there. And that's, I think, like $20 on Amazon. I will have some of the links in the show notes for some of these items. So you can go ahead and grab those. Those are super easy to have and be able to do. This one is actually called Fun Express All About Me Beach Ball. Again, I'll have that link in the show notes. The next activity, so this will be the second one, is those conversation cards. And these are ones for kids, and these will improve their expression, communication, those social skills. These are also sold on Amazon, and these are all kinds of questions as well. Some of them are about school, like what's your favorite subject? What do you like to do at school or during recess? What's your favorite subject? What's your favorite animal? All those different things. And those are fairly inexpensive as well. Another conversation activity is they're called conversation cubes, and they look like dice. But these are more geared toward like social and emotional learning. So those are really good as well because you kind of get a feel of where your kids are at and what their kind of skill level is in their social emotional learning. And those are really great as well. And of course, the fourth thing is, all about me worksheets. I'm sure you've seen them. They're all over on Pinterest that you can create. Some of them are just a few questions. Some of them are, you know, lots of questions. Kindergarten, they have families or kids bring in like pictures of them when they were little or pictures of their family, and then they get to talk about their family. So, however you want to use that, those are really fun to see as well. And then not the last activity, sorry. The last activity idea is playing bingo, which is a new one I haven't seen, but this is one you'd have to create or buy as well. And it's a bingo, and it's like, you already have some answers on there, like my favorite color is green. I love reading. I love math. And then, of course, the kids fill it out, and then they have to say, why they feel all those, or why they have all these things, or what are the things that they got, right? And that's another fun way to get to know your kids. Another one is playing four corners. So this is in your classroom, the four corners in your room, and you would ask a question, and then each corner would be a different answer. So, oh gosh, so we've played this like in music, we've played this in different classrooms, and or you either do four corners or you do like one side of the room is an answer and the other side of the room is an answer. That's an easy way to do it as well, coming up with those questions. Another activity is like sit or stand when they answer. So you would say, all of those who love to read, stand up, and then give everyone a chance to look around and be like, oh, okay. And then, of course, you could go deeper and it's like, what kind of books do you like to read? And then that, of course, carries on more conversations, right? That's a fun one too. So it really kind of depends what type of movement you want to do with your students. Some of the little ones may, not be reading really well, so maybe you don't want to do the conversation cards or cubes or those, but maybe you could do bingo and just have like pictures of what it is, or doing the four corners, or sitting or standing to answer. Um, these are just a few examples that are pretty low key, low prep activities that will begin to build trust, build community, build belonging as they begin to see, like, oh, I have something in common with, Johnny over here or Sally. Um, you know, the other thing I want to say is if you are able to, that you get involved in these games and you answer some of these questions. So when that beach ball is flying around, hopefully they're going to, throw it to you, or you start it and answer the first question and then you throw the ball. I think it's really important for you to be just as involved, just as much sharing, obviously as much as you want, about who you are and what you enjoy doing, because of course they want to know who you are too. And do you have any pets at home? Or do you have any kids at home? Or, whatever it is, your students would love to learn about you as well. So I encourage you to be involved in some of these activities as well. I think that, again, the kids really enjoy that. They love learning about you and seeing how maybe you were in school and what did you enjoy when you were in school. I never enjoyed math. I always struggled with math. I love reading. I love writing. History was not always my favorite. Science was eh. Um, but again, your students would love to get to know you and what maybe makes you laugh, what you enjoy doing, and share those laughs with your students. If you have some funny stories from your summer vacation, share them with your kids. Have them come up with a funny story. Something instead of what was your favorite part, maybe what was your funniest part or what you enjoyed the most, right? There's all kinds of ways that you can engage with your kids, getting to know them, build that sense of belonging in your classroom. It is going to make a huge difference. So, again, to remind you, according to the Harvard Graduate School of Education, belonging is a core developmental need that directly shapes motivation and resilience. Because belonging is one of the strongest predictors of student success. And of course, this is what you all want, right? You all want your students to thrive and succeed and have a desire to learn and grow. And so this is your great opportunity to create that by creating a classroom community that comes alive, that your kids love to be in your class. And of course, I'm not saying that every day, the whole year, everything is going to be, beautiful and wonderful and fabulous, because life happens, right? Nothing is perfect. But when you can build this foundation for your classroom, for your students, I'm telling you, it will make all the difference in the world. So, which one of these activities are you going to try this year to get to know your students, to begin to build that community, that sense of belonging? I say get them up and going playing four corners. Or if that's too much, the beach ball is a lot of fun too. Those are a couple of my favorites. Just so you know. So as always, guys, I really appreciate you listening. I really appreciate your support. And this month we are going to be going over like preparation. We got this, building that community. Next week, we'll kind of go back over those back to school routines. Why are those important? What is the difference that those make? And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I know you're going to have an amazing school year because you are all rested and ready to go. And you've got the energy and the excitement, and do your best to try and hold on to that, because I know that kind of wanes for me too. But your students need you, and you're going to do great this year. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening. I truly appreciate your support. And if I have encouraged you, motivated you to continue to learn, to support your students, even better, to help them strive in your classroom, please leave a review, hit that subscribe button so that others can see they can learn and grow here as well. Thank you.